same infraction, you know, I mean, that's too much leeway, as far as I'm concerned.
So,
Do we know what the grade ratings are for the ones that are facilities here?
I don't have them with me, I can provide you with it.
You can look on the website there on it. I know you've got, one had a pretty low rating. I peeked at them yesterday, that's the great call me, but I was kind of surprised, but there was one that was.
Department of Public Health.
Yeah,
And this has to be over a period of a year and a half.
minimum. We've got to give them at least 3 inspections to do something before we can begin with the test.
So it's not like you might go once a quarter or once a month, or you got.
But it's, like I said, and to be fair, when they rewrite the rules, they let the industry have input. So, you know.
Oh, so they get the year and a half.
You know, so yeah, they're well, on those bottom ones, the first 9, you know, you've got water, sewage, vermin problems. You know, you kind of, we don't have to wait a year and a half on those. The operational ones, yeah, we've got to give them a chance to correct the situation.
Well, it's pretty bad when people come in and they are already registered and they go to their room and then check back out and go to Hinesville or either Brunswick. And we get complaints about it, the tourism board does.
Well, if in any case, I mean, log a complaint with the health department.
Actually, we get very few complaints.
I'm about to say, because I monitor the complaints on all 16 counties on a quarterly basis, and I couldn't tell you the last one I've seen one logged in Wayne County on the tourist accommodation. So the public may not know they can log a complaint at the health department, but we will try to do a better job of maybe educating. Put something, I don't know if you want to put something in the paper, but more than likely.
Well, they're from out of town.
Exactly.
So they're, and especially with Rayonier people or Votech people that come in, and then we have different organizations that come in.
The number 1 complaint we've had with hotels within the last 2 or 3 years, I don't mind saying, is bed bugs. And they're rampant. They're everywhere, because I know of a conference Public Health had in Savannah this past summer at, you know, some 4- and 5-star hotels where bed bugs were found, actually. So bed bugs do not discriminate. You know, they're in the nicest hotels, and so, and that's one that's really, we have a hard time staying on top of. But in those cases, we try to work with the facility to where they get a licensed exterminator to come in, and those rooms cannot be re-rented until they've been cleared by the exterminator.
I'm like Commissioner Nichols. I deal with a lot of companies that come in out of town, the different groups we work with, and they won't stay here. That's their only concern. We're trying to figure out a way to, you know, we've got a study group now that's looking at a business class hotel downtown. I don't know how that's going. That's basically what we're looking for. I mean,
Family reunions coming into town, people, you have 100 people coming into town, they can't find this place to stay. And that's where my complaints come from. People come into town, they complain about the accommodations that they have here. So,
You walk in the door, you smell food cooking,
And they don't have restaurants.
and it's not a restaurant.
They're not a
No.
restaurant setup.
They do cold cereal in the morning for breakfast.
So basically, what I think our concern was to begin with is, I mean, the steps that can be taken, and they're long, drawn-out steps, from what I can understand. And y'all are already doing that, so it ain't like.
Yeah.
Well, it's also got to be those critical violations also.
Excuse me?
It's got to be those critical violations also.
Yeah.
If it's one of the critical ones, it expedites the process. If it's water, if it's sewage, if they have gas furnaces, we get the fire marshal involved if we suspect the problem or infestation. The number 1, I pulled out our sheet from the state report, the number 1 violation throughout the state of Georgia was furnishings not clean or in good repair. So it's a statewide. The biggest issue we've run into, where we hope the new rules address it, is a lot of these old hotels will basically turn into low-rent apartments. school buses are stopping at hotels, mail's being delivered to these old hotels, so, I mean, and they were not designed for that thing, so, we're actually hoping the new rules to where, once we've established a certain population is living there on a permanent, we can actually pull their permit and they're out of the hotel business, and we have done that in a few counties.
And from what I gather too, the city has no say-so in any of this. I mean, it's all gotta be done if there's violations.
That's sad.
And I don't think we wanna buy a hotel and keep it up. Anybody else have any questions for, Mr. Butler? We appreciate you coming. I mean, we've had some complaints and we tried to figure out what we could do as a city, as a council, and
Well, please, I mean, forward the complaints to the health department, we will do an investigation, I mean, in cases we have, we'll usually get help in here for the local folks, so it doesn't look like it's just a local person. We'll get a team of inspectors together from out of town, we've done that in the past, so, we'll be glad to work with the city any way we can, so.
I think most of it that we get would be in these groups like Yellowwood or Rainier, having somebody come in and they say, hey, we had to go to wherever. So that's.
Yeah, they just need to have it forwarded to us, because I believe it's dead ending with y'all, we don't ever get to us.
Okay.
I believe it's what's happening.
Okay.
You all go get a team together and come in here.
We can. The city of Jesup wants us to.
I think we need one.
Right.
I think we need one. With the complaints we've received and the complaints that was just hearing tonight about the businesses that are having problems, the people coming into town and having no place to stay. If we're going to correct it, I think we need to start with some other things and get you in there. So just,
If you will, Dwayne, if once you find out something, if you get with Mike or Mark, one of y'all just let us know.
Okay. All right.
Right.
Thank you.
All right, thank y'all for coming, appreciate it. Mark, if you don't mind while you're up, will you give us an update on your dad? Sorry to put you on the spot.
He went to the surgeon today, and everything checked out good on that end, and I saw him this evening, he was feeling really good. He's still weak, wanted to come tonight and wasn't able to, but overall, I think he's doing well. But, pains here and there, but nothing, not expected. But overall, doing well.
We'll let him know that he's in our prayers.
I appreciate it, and I will.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Mr. Deal, have something, some awards?
Yes. We recently had our toy drive, and Tracy can tell you a little more about how many gifts we actually give out, how many families we serve. It was about a week-long ordeal. Tracy did a great job. A year long, excuse me. That's exactly right. Let me turn this over to somebody else. Tracy.
You all right, you're gonna do fine.
Well, I will say that the Wayne County Toy Drive had a successful second year, but with a lot of help from two of my very trustworthy volunteers who have helped all year long. They have been, with their match shopping skills they have and the deals that they can find, they have brought stuff along and along all year. So tonight, I really just wanted to recognize them and acknowledge them for their hard work that they do for the toy drive. We, I would say we service approximately about 1,000 families, so it was a lot. It's a lot of work, and they've been Michelle McBee, if you'll come up, please.
Y'all have to excuse the way we dress.
We've been
shopping.
Been shopping with Bill.
We lost track of time.
Thank you, Michelle.
Shanley Fales.
Who was that again?
Shanley Fales.
Thank you very much. weren't doing it, it probably wouldn't be getting done, so, we really appreciate the work, and the effort that y'all put into it throughout the year. Thank you very
We
much.
can always use more volunteers, so just put that out there.
We do you have the other, name of the other people that helped? We did have several more
Cindy
volunteers.
Nichols, she came up here and volunteered. Jimmy Barber, I mean, they're just,
Tammy Smith.
yeah, Tammy Smith.
And
Leroy.
Greg and Mike,
Leroy did a lot of loading and unloading. so-
believe us, our husbands had a lot to do with it as well. If it wasn't for them,
For their money.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Used a lot of them.
yeah.
That's good.
I think the needy families in Wayne County are very fortunate to have the volunteer groups, not just y'all, but there are other groups that are doing stuff in the community that I think is a great idea, and appreciate all that y'all do.
That's, if I might.
Waxed
If
up.
I might, if we can get, we get
Bring your
those
plaques.
names, if we get those
Do the
names
sideward twist.
and read them into the official record, so they'll be recognized right on.
Yeah.
Tracy,
Get up here,
Yeah, we
Hear that?
aggravated you enough.
Madam Clerk. Let's,
You're neat, Tracy.
let's get those names mentioned and write them into the record.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
That way they'll be immortalized for it from now on. That'd be good.
Thank y'all. Thank you, Tracy, for putting that together. All right, next item on the list, Mr. Deal, is the selection and discussion of the city website. We had a work session earlier today about the website selection.
Yeah, we just need to, see what your wishes are on how we proceed with the website.
I think for the record, what we probably need to do, for the official record, what we probably need to do is if you get up and just give a very concise,
Recommendation.
a very concise of the two recommendations or the three or whatever it is, so that we have it for the record.
Thank you. I'm sorry, you're right. Something else.
Go ahead.
We had one
We
recommendation.
have one sidebar here. Go ahead.
The website committee looked over 3 proposals that we requested. We specifically went to our local people, and we also reached out to Civic Plus, which is who we ultimately decided was best for the city. We felt that Civic Plus, as far as community engagement, which is something really important that we feel like the city needs to be involved with as far as the website is concerned. Community engagement is a huge deal. As I've heard from you guys as well as our commissioners, we really want, the citizens of Jesup to know what's going on in our government, and so they can have a hand in what's going on, and their voices can be heard. So engagement as well as activity. So we want to make sure that they know what's going on. We feel that Civic Plus can give us that. We also looked at their budget, and it would be $8,079 per year. In year 4, they would give us a complete redesign, and then the process starts over again from there. We'd be given ample support as far as 24/7 emergency support, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Support. They update and fix any of their systems that have updates and fixes. They do that automatically for us. They test our links, intranet, and have a staff resourcing center. They offer, a list of things that we would want and we need for the city website. We also felt Civic Plus was the best option for the city of Jesup because they specialize in city websites. It's what they do. They're good at it, and if you look at all of their websites from years ago or from yesterday that have gone live recently, they look great. They're modern, they're professional, they connect, the social media aspect into it, they're mobile friendly, and so they're very easy to navigate, and it's something else that we really feel is important, and that's been a request that we've heard that we want to see in the city website. And another thing that was mentioned mentioned in the work session is although Civic Plus does not, they don't have email hosting, we would stay with Wayne County Online Web Hosting for our email hosting. And so we recommend Civic Plus. Any questions? And a lot of them were covered in the work session.
All right. Any questions? For Ms. Kitline, any questions? Anyone?
Or for any
All right. Hearing none, do I have entertain any type of motion for an approval for a website?
What is this gonna cost us?
The one that she just gave us was $8,000 a year for 3 years. Yeah, $8,079 for 3 years.
What about, well, okay, that's also what the one we already have for, local governments on? Is that also included? What I'm asking is that we already have a local government, that you can come on and hook up all of us on the website. That replaces it.
Yes.
That's what I'm asking.
Right, yeah, that's correct.
It's gonna replace the one that we already have, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that correct? Yeah, yeah,
Is that what it's gonna do?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And where's this coming at? This doing this?
Their company is out of Kansas, actually.
Kansas.
And they have multiple, our teams will be in Charleston. They have multiple different offices throughout the United States because they cover a lot of the United States.
Okay.
So, if any problem arose, so they would have some support?
Yes. We can call them at no additional cost. We can call them and they can provide their services 24/7, emergency services. We would have a project manager that we work with very closely in their team that we work with closely. And they come here, if we decide to move forward with them, they come on site for 3 days and train up to 12 of our staff so that I can have access to doing it, Rose can have access, Tracy can have access, any of us can have access of the 12 that have been trained in it.
I think we must, I think, bring it for the record also that we have local business here that they have submitted a bid, and we spoke with them extensively in the work session, and I don't know, I mean, I think they might be able to, they would probably be able to do the job, but the fact of the matter is, you know, we have used local, and the website is, I'm not satisfied with it at all. And that's not these folks, but the fact of the matter is it's a way behind the times, and I think the only way to get to, I don't know that it's the only way to get there, but I think that maybe this might be.
Have you ever voiced your opinion before?
Oh, yes, many times.
Okay.
Yeah, many times.
That's all.
I brought it up from my chair, we need to do something about the website. Many times in the past. I mean, my picture's not even on there. I'm not even on there. I haven't been on there for the last 2 years. Yeah, I've talked about it.
Any other discussions? You want to make a motion?
I'll bring it up for a vote. Make a motion to go with the recommendation.
All right, have a motion. Have a second from Mr. Dirk. Any questions? Any discussions? Hearing none, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Darden? Yes.
Commissioner Harris?
Yes.
Commissioner House?
Yes.
Commissioner Nichols?
No.
Commissioner Reddish?
All right. The vote 3-2
That carries.
carries to use Civic Plus. Thank y'all. All right. Mr. Deal?
We have had a resigned, and he stated in his resignation that it was to spend more time with his family. He and his wife have recently become foster parents. They take in several children a year, so he has chosen to submit his resignation, and that position is open. One thing that we need to take into consideration, it's time to elect officers on that board, and we need to do something as soon as we can to try to get that position filled.
When do they?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
may I state that I have served with Mr. Aspinwall the last several years. Mr. Aspinwall has been very, very dedicated to the tourism board. He's been very helpful. He actually started the Hog Jam, initiated it. He's going to be hard to replace. And we have other volunteers that have been very dedicated. We have a young man sitting here with us tonight that is very dedicated. He has come from not even being asked, but he has devoted his time to the tourism board and all the events that we work on or whatever. And I would like to place his name in nomination, Will Murphy.
All right. We have a nomination for the Tourism Board?
Is that that's the only, open?
Yes.
It's only open.
That's the only one.
That's the
He just
only
sent
one.
he just sent the letter last week.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. I have a nomination on the floor.
So, motion.
I don't have any problem with it, just make it as a form of a motion.
Well, I make a motion then
Second.
that we nominate.
Madam Clerk, we have a motion by Ms. Nichols and a second by Mr. Harris. Any discussion?
Are you willing to take that position?
Yes.
Okay. I heard from the floor, but I didn't hear anything from you, so.
He'll do a good job. He's been helping us.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner House,
Yes.
Commissioner Nichols,
Yes.
Commissioner Reddish,
Yes.
Commissioner Darden.
Yes.
Congratulations.
You think?
He'll be fine.
Yes, he will. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. All right, Mr. Deal?
We also have a position open on the Downtown Development Authority. Dwight Drew has been serving on that board for many years. And I'll also say about Dwight, he has done a great job on that board, but due to health reasons, he has decided to resign. And kind of funny situation, he recommended that Will be put in his place, but he's already appointed, and of course I'll leave that totally up to y'all. We do need to think about some procedures, and I'll let Mr. Connor.
This, as you will recall, we had some issues, gosh, going back almost 4 years ago now, 3 years ago, about the composition of the DEA board and how it was configured. And there's some tension between what happened in 1984 when we created the board. We let the board go dormant, we revitalized it, recreated it in 1994. The charter under which we recreated the board in 1994 is actually different than what we had in 1984. And finally, both of those things are different than what's actually in the city code, which is a 1976 version. Those three things on the city side are all different than what state law now provides, which was amended in 2008. So to take that big ball of mess and boil it down to this is what you have. Your 1994 ordinance, under which you redevelop, revitalize the then-born DEA board, provides that your DEA board members have to be residents of the city So, you know, even that's ill-defined. So at any rate, what the city has is 1994, we say you have to be a resident of the city, and you have to own a business within the city. In 2008, the state said eligible members of the community who can serve as a DDA board member can be, letter A, a resident of the county who owns a business within the defined area, or a person living in the municipality, or C, even somebody who lives outside of the county if they own a business within the county, or a combination of those three. Our ordinance complies with that law. I mean, our ordinance, our folks under the 1994 version meet those definitions of the 2008 state law. Ours is a little tighter than what the state law is. So what I had suggested in 2012 to sort of clean up these issues is that we think about amending what we had. At that point, there really wasn't much appetite by the commission to amend anything because we would be walking away from a tighter set of restrictions. Again, have to be a city resident and have a business within the defined area. We would be walking away from those tighter restrictions and go to the more liberal restrictions that are in the state law. That's what I recommended in 2012. There really wasn't any appetite for this commission to do that. So here are your options. We can assert a legal position that state law controls, and I can defend that. I'll win if you're ever challenged on it. To do it the right way, I would suggest that you clean up the mess from 1984, 94, 2009. You need to redefine what the DDA areas are. I mean, as I pointed out to Commissioner Harris, even your car dealership down here, which is probably the biggest investment that anybody has made in terms of a local business other than a paper mill, but certainly within the city, it's not even in the DDA area. Those are the kinds of things that y'all need to think about. You know, how are you going to define your area and who you're going to be on your board? Or you can do nothing and keep it the way it is.
Does there have to be, you know, we call it the Downtown Development Authority, but the fact of the matter is they have wide-ranging latitude, if you will. The DDA helps on everything. It doesn't matter whether it's at the river or wherever it's at. In other words, they work together with everybody. And I think where I'm going is, does the state law require that you have just a set small downtown boundary, or?
No, it's got to be within the municipality. I mean, you can basically define it the way you want, but it's got to be within the municipality. You know, within the city limits, so to speak. And y'all can define that however you want, as long as we're in the city limits, however you want to. No, it does not have to be. You know, the enabling statute talks about a centralized business corridor, but if you look at the way that you're permitted to define the district, as long as it's within the city, you can define it however you want to. So,
When applying, like if the DDA's applying for grants and all, most of if I'm not mistaken, most of the grants require you to have a designated DDA area. That's what we've?
Well, and I think we have to have a designated area.
We
Now,
do.
it could be citywide.
We
if
do
we
have
determine
one.
that.
Yeah.
Actually, we've got 2 or maybe 3.
yeah, you've actually got 3. You've got one
Yeah.
in 84, one in
And
90.
that's what I propose, is that we clean everything
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
before we appoint a new one, just so it's done right.
Yeah.
And that's what I expressed to the counselor, is if we're gonna do it, we need to do it right.
Yeah.
We don't need to say, well, that's the way it's always been, let's fix it, and then we can move on, and then in 4 years, or 8 years, or 12 years, they can say, well, they fixed it in 2014, or 15, whatever year this is.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't disagree.
You know, the other issue you need to think about, remember the DDA board has the authority to borrow money, buy property, et cetera. It obviously has to do that within the geographic area that you're talking about. So being forward-looking, you know, giving your DDA board, you know, a wider geography to operate in may not necessarily be a bad idea. You know, right now the DDA board couldn't go and, you know, buy a piece of property, you know, out on Sunset Boulevard someplace. They really couldn't do that because it's outside of the defined area.
right now, we're working off of, the railroad tracks,
I'll tell you
east
what.
to
We don't know.
84, First Street.
What I'm working off of is the 1994
Yeah.
amendment. Mr. Deal has some new maps, but one of the new maps that we relied upon in the past is a map that was adopted in 2009 by the board. The board does not have the authority to set geography. You have that authority.
The DDA board, right, yeah.
Okay, so my view is that later map in 2009, which expands the area further, really isn't a valid expansion of the geography. Now, you can ratify it, and it's pretty easy to sit here and make a motion to ratify it, but.
Well, I'd like to see the current DDA board, Ms. Micah, Mr. Deal, to come up with a recommendation, maybe Mr. Connor, and come up, this is what we propose as our downtown area for the DDA.